At 6:42 p.m., the security camera caught her smiling. Just 1 second, one ordinary moment frozen forever. 27-year-old Hannah Mercer stood inside a small convenience store near the edge of Blackridge, brushing wet hair away from her face while rain hammered against the windows outside. She bought a bottle of water, a pack of gum, and then she walked out into the storm. No panic, no fear, no sign that her life was about to end. The cashier later told investigators something strange. He said Hannah kept glancing over her shoulder while paying. Not scared, just aware, like she knew someone was outside waiting. That was the last confirmed sighting of Hannah Mercer. No screams were heard, no struggle was reported. Her car was never found abandoned, her bank accounts were untouched, her phone shut off less than 30 minutes later. And by the next morning, Hannah Mercer had vanished completely. But what terrified investigators wasn't just the disappearance. It was what they found afterward. Because hidden inside Hannah's apartment were journals describing a person she believed had been stalking her for months. A person nobody else had ever seen. And one entry written just days before she disappeared said something chilling. "If I go missing, look behind the walls." Before we continue, if you enjoy mysterious true crime stories filled with disturbing clues and chilling disappearances, make sure to subscribe to True Crime Hub, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss another case. Now let's uncover the terrifying disappearance of Hannah Mercer. Blackridge was the kind of town where nothing unusual ever happened. Quiet streets, small diners, local stores that closed before midnight. Most people spent their evenings sitting on porches while neighbors waved from passing cars. It felt safe. That's why Hannah's disappearance shattered the town completely. Hannah Mercer wasn't famous. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't involved in dangerous circles. She was ordinary. And somehow, that made the case even more terrifying. Hannah worked as a receptionist at a private medical clinic downtown. Every morning, she arrived at exactly 7:45 a.m. Same coffee order, same parking spot, same routine. Her boss once joked that Hannah could probably schedule her entire life down to the minute. She lived alone in a modest second-floor apartment on Willow Creek Road. It wasn't luxurious, but it was clean, cozy, and carefully decorated with bookshelves, candles, and old framed photographs. Friends described her as thoughtful, but private. She had a small circle of close friends, rarely dated, and spent most weekends either visiting family or staying home with mystery novels and documentaries playing softly in the background. There was nothing about Hannah Mercer that suggested she would suddenly disappear forever. But beneath her calm exterior, something had started changing months before she vanished. At first, nobody noticed. Hannah became quieter, more distracted. She started double-locking doors, closing blinds earlier than usual, checking outside her window repeatedly at night. One coworker remembered seeing Hannah freeze while leaving work one evening. She stared across the parking lot for nearly 30 seconds before whispering, "He's here again." When asked who she meant, Hannah quickly laughed it off. Probably nobody. But it wasn't nobody. At least not to Hannah. Because inside her apartment, investigators later discovered over a dozen journals. And those journals painted the picture of a woman slowly becoming terrified. The first entries sounded harmless. Gray truck parked outside again. Maybe coincidence. Saw same man at grocery store. But over time, the writing became darker, more frantic. Someone knocked at my door at 1:13 a.m. No one there. When I checked, I know I heard footsteps outside my bedroom window. One entry written 3 months before her disappearance stood out immediately. "He knows my schedule." Then another. "He was inside the hallway tonight." Police initially believed the journals reflected anxiety or paranoia. But some details disturbed investigators. Hannah accurately documented dates, times, and locations where she claimed to see the mysterious gray truck. When detectives reviewed traffic cameras after her disappearance, the truck actually appeared in several locations Hannah mentioned. But the license plate was impossible to identify, always blurry, always partially hidden, almost intentionally. And then investigators found the final journal. The last few pages looked rushed, almost shaky. The handwriting became uneven, messy, fearful. One sentence was underlined 3 times. "He's getting closer." Another read, "I think he's been inside my apartment." Then came the final entry written 2 days before Hannah disappeared. "If I go missing, look behind the walls." Nobody understood what it meant. Not yet. October 14th began like any normal Thursday. Hannah woke up at 6:30 a.m. Her phone records showed she listened to music while getting ready for work. At 7:12 a.m., she stopped at a coffee shop 2 blocks from the clinic. The barista later told police Hannah seemed tired but normal. Nothing appeared unusual. At work, Hannah answered calls, organized patient files, and chatted casually with coworkers. But around lunchtime, something changed. One coworker noticed Hannah staring out the clinic window toward the parking lot. Her face had gone pale. When asked if she was okay, Hannah hesitated before saying, "Do you ever get the feeling someone's waiting for you?" The coworker laughed nervously. Hannah didn't. Security footage later showed Hannah leaving work at exactly 5:18 p.m. She got into her silver sedan and drove toward the north side of town. At 6:42 p.m., she entered the convenience store. That footage would become the last confirmed sighting of her alive. The cashier said Hannah looked distracted, not terrified, but uneasy. He remembered her looking toward the window several times while paying, as if checking whether someone was outside. Then she walked into the rain, gone. At 8:15 p.m., Hannah's sister Rachel tried calling her. No answer. That wasn't unusual at first, but by midnight, concern turned into panic. Hannah always answered, always. Rachel drove to Hannah's apartment early the next morning. Her car wasn't there. The apartment door was locked. Inside, everything looked disturbingly normal. Her purse sat on the kitchen counter. Her laptop remained open. Half a cup of tea rested beside the couch. Nothing looked stolen. Nothing looked disturbed. But there were small details that didn't feel right. The bathroom window was slightly open despite the heavy rain the night before. Mud appeared near the hallway carpet, and Hannah's bedroom closet door stood open. Inside the closet, detectives found something strange scratched into the wooden wall behind hanging clothes. 3 words. "He is here." Police later confirmed the scratches were old, possibly weeks old, meaning Hannah may have written them herself. But why? At first, investigators focused on people closest to Hannah, friends, coworkers, ex-boyfriends, but nobody stood out. No signs of violence appeared in her apartment. No suspicious financial activity occurred after her disappearance. No evidence suggested she planned to leave willingly. Then came the phone records. At 7:03 p.m., 20 minutes after leaving the convenience store, Hannah's phone pinged near Briarwood Forest just outside town. After that, nothing. Search teams combed the forest for days. Helicopters scanned the area. Volunteers searched trails and abandoned buildings. Then investigators discovered something chilling. Deep inside the woods, search dogs located Hannah's necklace hanging from a broken tree branch. The chain wasn't snapped. It looked carefully placed, almost deliberate. Nearby, officers found fresh tire tracks matching a large pickup truck. But heavy rain destroyed most usable evidence. The tracks led nowhere. Then the case became even stranger, because while investigators searched the forest, someone entered Hannah's apartment. Again, police had sealed the apartment after processing evidence. Only investigators possessed keys. Yet 3 days after the search began, officers returned to find something deeply unsettling. One of Hannah's journals had moved. Detectives were absolutely certain it had previously been sitting on the bedroom desk. Now it rested open on the kitchen table. A new sentence appeared inside, written in black ink. "He watches them too." Forensic experts confirmed the handwriting matched Hannah's, but the ink was fresh. Fresh enough to suggest it had been written recently, possibly after her disappearance. No fingerprints, no forced entry, no security footage, nothing. The mystery terrified the town. Rumors spread rapidly. Some believed Hannah was alive and secretly returning home. Others believed her stalker entered the apartment. But investigators discovered another disturbing detail. The apartment's smoke detector contained a hidden camera, tiny, almost impossible to notice. Police traced the device to an online purchase made with stolen information. The camera had likely been installed for months. Someone had been watching Hannah inside her own home, sleeping, eating, living, and she may never have known. As the investigation continued, witnesses began reporting bizarre encounters. A woman claimed she saw Hannah standing near a gas station at 2 a.m. weeks after the disappearance. Another person reported seeing a silver sedan parked near Briarwood Forest, with its headlights on. But every lead collapsed. Then came perhaps the strangest clue of all. A maintenance worker inspecting Hannah's apartment building discovered loose drywall behind her bedroom closet. Inside the wall cavity, investigators found dozens of photographs. Pictures of Hannah, walking to work, buying groceries, sitting inside her car. Some were taken from extremely close distances. Too close. But the most terrifying photograph showed Hannah asleep in her own bedroom. Someone had been inside her apartment while she slept. And one final image froze investigators completely. It showed Hannah standing at her kitchen window, looking directly at the camera. Terrified. On the back of the photo, someone had written, "She finally noticed. Years have passed since Hannah Mercer disappeared. Her family still searches for answers. Her case remains unsolved. No body was ever found, no arrests were ever made, and the gray truck Hannah wrote about in her journals was never identified." But one detail continues haunting investigators more than anything else. Months after the case went cold, police reopened Hannah's apartment storage boxes for re-examination. Inside one journal, tucked between pages investigators swore had already been checked, they found a folded note. No fingerprints, no date, just one sentence written in Hannah's handwriting. "If you're reading this, he's closer than you think. Nobody knows when the note appeared, or who placed it there." And maybe the most terrifying part of this story is that Hannah Mercer disappeared during an ordinary day. No dramatic chase, no screams, no warning. Just rain falling softly outside a convenience store, while someone waited patiently in the dark. Before this story ends, subscribe to True Crime Hub, leave a like, and share this video if you enjoy disturbing unsolved mysteries like this one. Because the deeper we dig into cases like Hannah Mercer's, the more terrifying the unknown becomes. Maybe Hannah noticed too late, or maybe she knew exactly what was coming. Because sometimes the scariest mysteries aren't the ones filled with blood or violence. Sometimes the scariest mystery is how easily someone can vanish while the world keeps moving like nothing ever happened. And somewhere out there, the person who knows the truth may still be watching.